Welcome to our session today. So this is one of my favorite ways to teach Yin Yoga, and I'm going to teach it to you through the chakras. So chakras are these energy centers that draw one line through your body, and I'm going to simplify them a lot. I hope that you had a chance to read the chapter, the lecture on the chakras, so that you have a deeper understanding. But in lots of different traditions, we refer to these energy centers as different things. Scientists might call them fascia. So, fascia marks a lot of the different energy centers. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's qi or qi or your meridians. In some traditions, they're called nadis or energetic channels that run through your body. And then they're known as chakras as well, which is more commonly referred to here in the West. But I want to play this out with a metaphor. I want to start with a metaphor that hopefully lands with you. And this is how I think about my body all the time. If you look at your body as though it has a series of highways running through it, okay? So zigzagging in and out through your body. And then I want you to imagine that there's a car crash or a highway blockade or a broken bridge, right? So there's something along that highway that normally allows the flow of traffic to go nice and smooth. And then suddenly you hit this blockade and there's a jam, like a traffic jam, right? And so if you look at your body like this and imagine that maybe there's a traffic jam somewhere in your body, and wherever that jam is, so say it's right here in your upper rib, that traffic jam is preventing the traffic or the flow of energy to move to different places in your body. One of my teachers, Thomas Myers, he's brilliant. Read Anatomy Trains if you haven't already. He says when we talk about pain or discomfort in our body, often it is where it ain't. So if you feel a lot of pain here, it might actually be related to a traffic jam somewhere else along that channel that's blocking energy flow to that place. My intention in tonight's class is to open up all these different energy centers. And if there are traffic jams in any of these places, whether they're physical or energetic or maybe even emotional, we can deal with that. We can deal with that and then allow energy to flow a little bit smoother. So this type of yoga, when we look at it from the chakra perspective, gets a bit more esoteric, and you can easily say, I don't believe with that. That is not scientifically grounded, and I'm out. And if that's the case, you can press mute and just copy and paste the shapes that I do in your body and go on your own journey. Otherwise, I'll teach you a thing or two about chakras tonight. But let's start sitting up nice and tall in Sukhasana. This is translated to easy pose, which is a bit strange because it's quite challenging for most people. Take your hands to face down on your thighs and close your eyes. With your eyes closed, can you go right ahead and take a long, deep breath in through your nose? Now exhale out through your mouth, please. Inhale again through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. One more time, take a big breath in through your nose. And exhale, ha, with a sigh out through your mouth. Stay here and be still here. And consider that these first few moments and any moment that you devote to your meditative practice is an opportunity to rebel against the unthinking that we tend to fall into when we get busy. To rebel by becoming really, really clear and aware of how we are and what we are feeling, what our purpose is, what our intentions are. So take these first few moments in silence now to rebel against being passive, against passively witnessing your life, and take a few moments to actively explore and indulge in who you are, what you need, and why you're here. I'll pull you out of this meditation in 3 minutes' time. You're halfway there. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the distractions that are coming up. It is normal for them to come up, and return to this observation. Who am I? What is my purpose? Really good. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide to exhale. Keep your eyes soft, but place your hands together at your heart center. Thumbs are touching the edge of your sternum. And set the intention to get to know yourself tonight. Like imagine you were going on a 1 hour date with yourself. I'm going to get to know yourself. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide. Exhale, let out all your air. Listen or sing the sound Om just once. Inhale. Perfect. Lower your hands down into your lap. Now you can keep your bolster or your blanket under your hips, but you don't have to, as we come into a shape called butterfly pose. In butterfly pose, take the soles of your feet together and create a distance between your heels and your pelvic floor that feels okay on your inner groin. So there's no pain here. There's never pain in yin. Always be mindful and beware of sharp sensations, pins and needles, electrical sensations. And if you feel that stuff, that yucky stuff, take props underneath the parts of your bodies that aren't touching the floor. So you might take a prop underneath your thighs here. And then take a moment just to shift from side to side before you descend down into a rounded spine that takes you about 70% of your body's range of motion. When you get there, you can choose to hang your head completely, or maybe you want to use some of your creative propping solutions to catch your head. And that's okay. So the physical intention in butterfly pose is to drive sensation, tension along your inner groin and then along either side of your back. Meanwhile, there's compression, a squishing of tissue against tissue in your front line, so in your tummy. And for the sake of today's class, the intention is to stimulate your root chakra right at the base of your body. So come on down, come into your pose, close your eyes. Close your eyes, take a big, big breath in through your nose. Exhale, let everything go. Sink to about 70% of your body's range of motion and find stillness. So despite the desire to itch and shift and readjust your hair, can you just be still? Because here in butterfly pose, we are stimulating, perhaps even awakening your root chakra, your root energy center. The color of this chakra right at the base of your spine is red. Could you visualize the color red right around your sit bones and your hip area? Notice the tone of that color red. Notice if it comes in a shape or an actual item. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide, exhale, relax a little further here, and devote the next minute to ask yourself, how am I doing financially? How am I doing financially? Without judging, I'd invite you to answer these questions from an honest, getting to know yourself place. Like you're about to get married to yourself and you just need to be honest. And now could you ask yourself, how is my home situation? My shelter, my food? How do I feel about my living situation? Is there anything I would like to change about my home or my financial situation? Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide, exhale, relax a little deeper into the pose. And in yin, you'll find over time your body might actually melt further and further without causing any pain. If that's the case, you can dive right in. If you feel pain, rewind and come back. And for the remaining time in this pose, could you silently repeat to yourself, I am grounded. I am stable. I am strong. A mantra of the root chakra, your center of stability and groundedness, which is heavily reliant on how you are coping financially, with your shelter, with access to food. So again, silently repeat your mantra. I am grounded. I am stable. I am strong. One more time. I am grounded. I am stable. I am strong. Then take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. As you breathe in, really patiently lift your torso back upright. Take any props out to the side, lean back onto your arms, and just move in a way that feels really, really nice for your body. Good. From there, could you take your right leg and stretch your right leg out on a bit of a diagonal here as you pull your left foot into your inner right thigh? Pull your left foot into your inner right thigh. Now, some of you might not be able to extend your right leg fully because of really tight hamstrings. That's okay. Place a prop underneath that right leg. From here, could you rotate your torso towards your right leg and relax your right leg entirely before you begin to inch your way forward? Again, you're coming into a forward fold, stimulating this time the back of your leg, the hamstring, and all the tissues around that big muscle group, but also articulating a subtle twist in your spine. You might stay upright with your torso or fold all the way down to a leg or stack of props. And as you come into this shape, I'd like you to bring your awareness to your sacrum, so the very base of your spine here. And as you bring that attention to that place, can you think about the color orange? Relax into your shape, feeling the sensation start to penetrate the back of your leg, your inner thigh, perhaps your outer hip all the way up and across your spine. Keep thinking about that color orange. Take a great big breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, soften your torso, your jaw, your head, your neck, even your eyes by any amount. Your sacral chakra, located at the base of your spine, is your center of creativity, your center of sensuality, of giving and receiving pleasure. And as we start to stimulate this area in our physical body, can you ask yourself, what brings me pleasure? What brings me pleasure? Don't edit yourself. And just start to build a list of the things that bring you joy or pleasure or sensuality even. This is a very sensual and sexual part of your body. And now could you ask yourself, how am I creative, or how do I unleash my creativity? Cooking, art, maybe make believe with your children. That's mine right now. Continue to marinate in these questions in this shape for a little longer here with silence and stillness. Enjoy. Take 3 more breaths in this shape. Feel that breath wave through your body, letting the exhale push away any thoughts or distractions that aren't serving your great needs right now. After your third exhale, tiptoe your hands back in towards your body. Remove any props from your legs, lean back, and take any shape or any movement that feels really good in this pose. Some of my students opt for total stillness between yin shapes, while others like full integrative movement. Having followed your intuition to get through that transition, you'll join me on the other side. Take your left leg out onto that V angle, with or without props, under your left thigh, under your left knee, and slide the sole of your right foot into your inner left thigh. Walk your hands to frame your left leg. So there's a really subtle twist here as your sacrum inches towards the earth. And then can you fold forward? Relax the musculature of your left leg. Connect to your breath. And for the 3 minutes that will linger here, I'd invite you to explore and repeat silently the mantra, I am full of creative potential. I am full of creative potential. Perhaps visions of yourself creating, crafting, concocting, writing, painting, cooking, dreaming, whatever it is you do to express your creativity might come to your mind's eye as a subtle reminder of how you, in your everyday life, can express your creativity and wake up the chakra center in your body. Take a big breath in. Exhale to soften. I am full of creative potential. 2 more minutes here. One final minute to go. I am full of creative potential. Take 3 more deep breaths. Savor the sensations that are rushing along your leg and your spine. Ever so patiently begin to pull your body back up through neutral and either linger in stillness or any kind of movement that feels good before we move on to our next shape. So this next pose, I'll offer two variations. I'll demonstrate the first one. If you have knee or ankle joint issues, this might not work for you, in which case hang tight. I'll show you something a little more accessible for sensitive joints. The first shape is called saddle pose, a really big back bend. I always take a blanket under my knee or ankles here. And to start, you'll come to sit back on your heels, bending at both knees. Then begin to walk your hands behind you by any amount, and straight away, could you lift your pubic bone up? You'll feel a stimulation along the front of your quads. This stretch really targets the tissues around this big muscle group that covers the fronts of your thighs. And you might choose to stay upright or come down to either a pile of props. And those of you who have taken my classes, you know we've done this with like 5 bolsters under our spine. Or maybe you come down without any props. So the physical intention here is to create a stretch along the deep front line of your body, okay? So from the quads all the way up through either side of your belly button into your chest. There's lots of compression happening in your lower back and a stretch right along the front of your ankle joints as well. Saddle pose. If you're coming there, please go on in nice and slowly. If that's not serving you today, I'd ask that you lie down on your back and place a prop under your sacrum for a supported bridge pose. Now you can place as many props under your sacrum, that bone at the base of your spine, and you might keep your knees bent or extend those legs. There should be no pinching, no pins and needles, and if there is, just move the prop underneath your back until you find that sweet spot where there's no pain, but there's definitely tension on the front body and compression on the back body. In the bridge pose variation, your hands can rest alongside your body or in your tummy, and I'd invite you to draw your chin in so the back of your neck is long. These are two shapes that will do the exact same thing, both energetically and physically, but they can accommodate different bodies differently. So choose the one that works for you. And you can imagine that here we are working with your center of power, your solar plexus. Imagine the color yellow beaming right around your belly button region. This is your center of power, your center of self-esteem, your center of confidence, right? This is what we present to the world. So with your hands resting either on your tummy or alongside your body, you might choose to close your eyes. We're holding here for 3 more full minutes, and if you feel pain in advance, come out. And I'd simply invite you to repeat the mantra, I am the person that I want to be in this shape. I am the person that I want to be. I am the person that I want to be. 2 more minutes here, nothing but that silent mantra repetition to take you through those 2 minutes. Enjoy. Really good work. 3 more breaths together. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take one more breath in. I am the person that I want to be. And exhale, let that breath go. If you're in saddle pose, the shape that I'm currently demonstrating, go so slow. Tuck your chin to your chest, walk your hands up, lift your pelvis, and sweep your legs around in front. You'll feel like you've put on 100 years. Take time here to move and shift however your body wants you to. Those of you down in supported bridge, you'll simply pull your bolster or prop from beneath you, lower your back to the floor, and perhaps rock your knees from side to side. And I'd like everybody to take as much time as you need to find your way down onto your stomach. If you have really pokey frontal hip bones, you could keep a blanket here along the mid part of your yoga mat. That will catch them so they're not jabbing into the floor. I often ask my students to bring a prop forward that might catch your head. So moving into Sphinx pose, stack your shoulders above your elbows from your belly. Place your palms onto the earth. Take a big breath in and right away soften through your heart. Soften through your heart, your legs, your bum. Your gaze could be lifted, or you could slouch your head and let it drop all the way down. That in-between place might look like a prop catching you at the third eye, the space between your eyebrows. Here we are in yet another back bend. Very similar physical work is happening here as happened in the previous pose. So there's this gentle stretch along the fronts of your quads, tension across your belly, and a deep opening through your heart and your chest. Meanwhile, you'll feel that bone pressing against bone in your lumbar spine, in your lower back. And now we're moving our attention and our awareness away from the solar plexus, your center of self-esteem, into your heart chakra. And I love that the color associated with the heart chakra is green. I often visualize the lush canopy of a tropical rainforest. Could you visualize the color green in and around your heart center, that upper left quadrant of your chest? And as we linger here for the next few minutes, we take time to reflect on our relationships with ourselves and others, on our ability to give and receive love, on our compassion and service to others. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, I'd like you to bring to your mind's eye the faces of everyone that you love. Humans, pets, deceased or living, everyone that you love. And now bring to your mind's eye the image of everyone that loves you. This might be different or the same. Everyone that loves you. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale with a ha out through your mouth. Option A, stay where you are. Option B, come to your belly if you're feeling too much strain or tension. And option C, press your palms into the floor, lift your heart, lift your chest, and come from Sphinx to Seal pose, an even bigger back bend or heart opener. Wherever you've arrived, just 1 minute here, the mantra that I'd invite you to repeat sounds like this. I am open to giving and receiving love. I am open to giving and receiving love. I am open to giving and receiving love. 5 deep breaths here. Take your final big breath in. Exhale, ripple your body down to the earth. Rest either cheek or your forehead upon the floor. Close your eyes. Take a full 5 breaths here. Be mindful as you peel your body up onto all fours and back into our next shape called child's pose. If you have your blanket handy, you might use it a little bit wider to catch both your knees and your ankles in child's pose. And then begin to descend down either to the floor or to a prop. This could be a folded yoga mat, a folded blanket, or a bolster that might catch your head and your chest. In child's pose, the distance between your knees is dependent on the sensation in your thighs. So there should be no pain, just that shearing, that tensile stretch that we get when we work along these fascial lines. If there's too much tension in your ankle joints, create little sushi rolls with your blanket to grab those ankle joints and give them a little bit more support. I'd like you to really land your attention in child's pose on your third eye, that space right between your eyebrows, stimulating your pituitary gland, or in chakra theory, your Ajna chakra. Relax the muscles of your body. Relax the muscles of your face. Feel the imprinting of your third eye against the floor or the prop. And introduce yourself to your center of intuition, of that deep inner knowing or psychic ability that we all have, whether or not we access or believe in it. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. And as we start to stimulate and tune into our center of insight, I'd like you to ask yourself a question, like you were asking a question to a psychic or a magic 8-ball or maybe a set of tarot cards. And if you can't come up with a question, the question I'd like to present or recommend is, what energy do I need to possess in 2021? And with your third eye stimulated here, could you give yourself permission to answer that question without editing it? Ask yourself a question and listen to your intuition, which will probably give you an answer. 3 minutes here. If there are any other questions you've been mulling over, I had one student tell me she spent months trying to decide whether or not to leave the city and buy a house in the suburbs, and it was just being in a yoga pose and having the recommendation to ask herself a question and listen to the answer that gave her the ability to see clearly. And that's what this is all about, seeing clearly without all of the clutter or the chaos or the chatter around you. So, any other questions you have for yourself, you have 10 more breaths to ask them here. Really good. Take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide. Exhale. Press your palms into the earth. Slither your body away from it. Come upright. Move your props out to either side. All of your props can come off your mat this time. And please lie down onto your back. When you get down onto your back, continue tapping into your intuition and integrate some intuitive movement here, or maybe stillness. 1 minute before our next shape, just to do anything that feels good in your body. And please don't be tempted to use this time to check your phone or your hair or anything else beyond your yoga mat. Stay tuned in. Eventually, our bodies will drift towards a reclining spinal twist. So with your feet flat on the floor, shift your hips towards the left and bend your knees over towards the right. Depending on how much space you have, you can open your arms wide into a T shape or maybe bend at your elbows, creating little goalpost arms. In this particular shape, if it feels okay, could you turn your gaze over your left shoulder? So turn your gaze in the opposite direction of your arm, of your legs rather. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, bring your attention to your throat, your center of truth, of communication, your thyroid, and visualize the color blue here at your throat chakra, the color blue. With an awareness of this area, the invitation now is to silently repeat the following mantra. I have the right to speak my truth. I have the right to speak my truth. Never has this statement been as controversial as it is in these trying times, right? But this could be to yourself, to your family, your friends, your colleagues, or beyond. I have the right to speak my truth. 2 minutes here. Really good. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Level your knees out through center. Take a moment, take a breath. Root through the soles of your feet to press your hips over to the right now and let your knees fall down to the left. Set your arms up in a way that serves your body. Turn your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees. Send your attention and your awareness back to your throat center, visualizing that color blue. Just be still here. Take a deep breath in. Sigh as you exhale, maybe even yawn here. Sweep your knees back through center and go ahead, find final Shavasana, corpse pose, with your arms and your legs relaxed down on the floor. Close your eyes. Please bring your attention now to the crown of your head and visualize the color purple here at your crown chakra, your center of deep connectedness and enlightenment. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And as you drift away into the bliss that Shavasana can bring you, repeat the mantra, my life is divinely guided. My life is divinely guided. My life is divinely guided. Take rest here. Allow yourself to surrender even deeper here in Shavasana.
Ever so slowly, start to bring tiny movements now into your fingers and your toes. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead, make a big yawn. Exhale, bend into your knees, roll over onto the right side of your body, and peel yourself back up to seated. Returning to your comfortable seat, take your hands at heart center. Close your eyes as you bow your head in towards your hands. Our intention was to take ourselves out on a date to get to know ourselves. And take a moment here of reflection. What did you learn about yourself in this past hour? And then gather a breath, pull it up from the base of your pelvic floor, through your tummy, your chest, your throat, your third eye, and out through the crown of your head, and exhale completely to let that breath go. Inhale to Om just once. Thank you so much for practicing, and namaste.